which also means for every one revolution of the screw, it must move 3 millimeters. Okay? So what we can do is we can say constraint. And I want you to click on motion over here. So right at the top. So this is actually, so remember yesterday I was saying we do essentials and we do advanced part and advanced assembly. Essentials we do this one, and advanced assembly we do these ones. So this, like I said, this is normally, I'd say like 70% of people using Inventor here don't know how this actually works, because most of them don't do the advanced training. So once you're on motion, I want you to click on this one called pinion and rack. Sorry, rotation and translation. That's what you would use to do a pinion and rack. So you know where you've got a gear and you've got not a gear, it's like a straight with the gear teeth grooved in it, and then you've got the gear at the top. When that gear turns, this shaft must go up and down. You know, you get those like vices, your drill presses, your so all of those things use pinion rack type of style. So we're going to have it on that one. It's telling us here to choose first selection and second selection. So I'm guessing we're going to do the front of this, and then we're going to select that one. Now the reason why I'm selecting this edge and not this edge, the way this thing works is the edge that you select, if it moves, the thing must rotate a certain time. And this is basically 1 millimeter is one rotation. Remember I said we're going to have a 3 mil pitch, so this would be 3 mil. So for every 3 millimeter movement of the edge I've selected, this thing must spin 1 revolution. That's basically what we've done. Now if we click on this one, this part can't move, so it would never move. It would stay still forever. So we're going to select that. We're going to click on OK. I want to check if I actually made it right. So see how when I move that part, that thing's actually spinning. It's spinning like a mad thing, so it is a little bit fast. That's one thing I do find with these things. Sometimes you have to go really big. So as you can see, I've actually went them the wrong way around. See how when I drag it, it's moving. That's tightening, but it's opening. That's loosening, and it's closing. So if it's incorrect, you just edit the thing and then set it to the opposite direction. So mine should work. There you go. Undoing, opening, closing. Okay, we'll get to the part now where we actually play it, and then you can see the thing opening and closing. So let's just say this is where I'm at. I'm happy with the constraints. This part should no longer move. Okay. You won't be able to rotate this and then that closes the vise. Okay, that's not how the rotation translation works. The rotation translation works that if this thing we've chosen moves, this thing rotates. So the constraint we did here is the one, you know the 45 we did? That's the one that we're going to move. But I need to know how far the thing can go. So once again, this is where the measure tool comes in. So you would right click and say measure. And I'm going to choose basically that vise face, and I'm going to choose that vise face. To tell me that the gap there is 45, which means the overall travel of the vise is 90. Okay, because we've got 45, 45. So I just happened to know that it was 90, that's why we put it at 45. This is the reason why you measure, because when you're doing it, you're not going to know what the sizes are. You're going to have to measure to double check. So I know that the distance between the jaws is 45, but at the back's 45. So that one constraint can travel 90 to 0. 0 is fully open, 90 is fully closed. So what I want you to do, so now I haven't really shown you the thing I just did here where I found the part and looked for the constraint and went for it. The constraint that we did, the 45, was between this part and that part, right? Now, currently we only have 1, 2, 3, we have 5. So if you look on the bottom right of your Inventor, it tells you how many parts you've got loaded, basically. There's 2. You want to hover over the one that's called total occurrence and active documents. One will be Total. So this is total occurrences in active documents. That means it includes duplicates. Okay, so if you use the same bolt 5 times, this one will say 6 because the assembly is counted as one file. This one is open documents in session. This is how many unique files are currently loaded. So like on that forklift assembly I showed you yesterday, that one's 3,000 unique items and it's like 7,000 if you include all the duplicates. Okay, so we only got 5 parts here. So with this specific one, it would be quite easy to find it here. Okay? What I want you to do is right click on Vast and say expand all children. What that's going to do is anything with a plus, it makes the plus expand. It's going to make the whole browser look busy. I'm basically trying to fake the thing as if it's a big assembly. So what's going to happen is if you have 100 parts, it's not just going to be 5 to choose from. Now you've got to scroll down and look for the thing. And you don't want to spend all day, looking at the names, trying to remember what it is. Most of the time, the thing you're looking for, you know what it is here. You might not know what the hell it is here. Now, like I was saying, the constraint that I want to change, that 45, we did between this part and that part. That means the constraint lives in this one and that one. It's basically one constraint that's in 2 places. If I change the one, it changes both. So we're going to select that part, just for example, the body. And if you look on the left, nothing is being highlighted. That's why I wanted you to expand the thing, because this is more realistic. You're going to be taking on a part and going, where on earth is it here? You can do something where you right click and you say find in browser. And what that will do is it'll select the part, but it will also bring it so we can see the thing. So it brings it basically into view here. There you can see it takes me straight to the body. So I don't need to know what I called the part, I just need to know what it is here that I'm trying to look for. And if you look underneath that part, you're going to find a constraint that has a 45mm offset. That's the constraint we want to drive or play. We want to change that 45, because remember I said we can actually drive the thing where it moves from 0 to 90 and that type of thing. So, I want you to select that one. Now, you can click on these things, because you might not know it's at 45. So if I click on this one, can you see the 2 work plans are highlighted? That's the 2 we started with. If I go to the next one, and I click on it, that is the one between that face and that. That's where it used to stick down. So you might have to do this. You might not know. Maybe they were all at 0. Then you're not going to know which of the list. Then you're going to have to click on the constraints until you find the one that you want to look for. Like I said, this is the one that prevents this movement. That's the one I want to drive or change. Okay? So I want you to right click on that one and say drive. So when you right click and say drive, it'll bring up this dialog box. Okay? And this is where you put your start and your end position. So the start is not going to be 45, it's going to be 0 because that's the bus fully open. I just put it at 45 so that that's where it was sitting. So I want the start to be 0 and I want the end to be 90. Remember we measured, it's got another 45mm travel, which makes the overall travel 90. If you hit the play button, this thing will suddenly jump to 0 and it will move to 90. If you look really carefully, hopefully you should see this thing spinning like a mad thing because of that 3mm thing we did earlier. So you can play it back, play it forward. Okay. I'll just come through now. What I recommend you do, click on this, change this to start, end, start, put this at some number, I'm going to go to 50, change your increment to this. When you play, you can actually open and close and open and close and open and close. Just keep doing that 50 times basically.